Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Marcus from TCG Discussions, coming at you with a Banlist discussion video today. I promised you guys that it was going to be coming and that it was going to be a little bit shorter of a one than I originally did. It was like a 43-minute tired rant, and I didn't think that it was my best video. So it was very, very emotionally driven, mostly because I'm tired and I've worked a lot lately. Like a lot. It's one of the reasons why this video is coming so late. But I've got some exciting news. I have two decks that I'm going to profile for the channel. They're just fun decks. Current iterations of Xeno Trunks and Childhood Kid Goku, like my first leader ever that I played in a tournament, I think. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to profile that for you guys, talk about why I think they're kind of good, and hopefully work out some kinks. I want Childhood Goku to draw more cards. I'm gonna try to figure that out. But anyway, let's get into the ban list. So then let's start off with the leaders. Sin Shenron, SS4, and Gamma. Gamma, I could have cared less if it stayed. Apparently the whole community wanted to go, so it did. Next, I didn't think it was that serious, but obviously it was a good deck, but I think good decks need to exist in the game, so I don't really complain about top tier decks. I care about degenerate strategies like Expert 21, and I'll get into that here in a bit, but and then SS4 Gogeta and Sin Shenron. I don't think Sin Shenron deserved to be banned. There are things I would have liked to see done to red, so that Sin just wasn't as relevant. Like maybe like errata, like the deck to only have battle cards that have Shadow Dragon in their text. And this would stop it from abusing other cards, right? Like maybe in your main deck or something, I don't know. So you could maybe still use the cards, but yeah. For me, the only problem with Sin is that they got the new TP, and I know you can't ban the TP because it's too new, but I think that TP for red is a problem and is going to constantly be a problem. And I'll put this into perspective. U7 has a card that basically functions like that TP, except for it can draw you a card, but it's only if it minuses something 15 and kills it. And there's a reason why that thing doesn't say minus 20k, because 20k is really powerful. like really powerful. That 5k difference means a lot. And there's a reason why Vidal's minus 20 comes with a spirit boost tag on it, because 20k is a big deal, right? Yamcha hitting 2 cards for 15 is not in the same conversation as Vidal hitting 2 cards for 20. Very, very big difference. And she has 5k less power as a battle card. So but the fact that Sin and Gogeta just basically free played that card was absolutely ludicrous. So I mean, Sin literally could play draw 3 on its first turn if it had a ball and it searched 2 more, and then leave its energy untapped, and whatever you play going first, if it doesn't have barrier, it's just instantly killed. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But Gogeta, so I think Gogeta needs to kind of exist. Both triumph together in the deck, but obviously they're gone now, both of them, so we'll have to figure out what to do from here. But here's my reasoning. There's certain strategies, and it's one of the reasons why I'm for a yellow deck, I'm probably going to start trying to learn to pilot the Kid Goku deck. Again, there's just certain decks that are too degenerate with blocker and barrier, and Triumph Together just kind of stood as the check to those kinds of dumb strategies. Cell is another one, and now basically all these strategies get to flourish for free. Like Bulma gets to like flourish for free. Kid Goku just basically gets to replace with it, like, you know, have a blocker that dies via an effect, and then like it brings another blocker with barrier and pops a card in rest mode. Like, there's just lots of dumb things about that like I feel that, and it's also the deck's like the Kid Goku's like nuts. Okay, like the unison sticks well. You can easily like build markers. You free play a card. I mean, like, it's just it's a ridiculous deck, and Triumph Together just like stood as a check to that. And what I would have done to the deck, and I think this would have been fair to keep it in check, is cut the Gokus and the Vegeta draw cards by half, like semi-limit both. The problem with Gogeta was not the powerful cards it played. The problem with Gogeta was the 18 card hand size that it had while playing all the powerful cards it played. And I mean, I talked to a friend about this. Outside of getting hatched, you could literally draw 5 cards on a given turn without spending 1 energy between the unison and the leader effect. And that's not okay, right? Like, a 0 cost draw 5. I mean, SS4 Vegeta takes 6 energy, like Rise of Super Warrior takes 6 energy and only nets you 4 cards if the 4 cards you draw are all mono blue. And we're screwing around out here with red just having a free draw 5. While charging Z energy, like, quite rampantly at that. I really liked how efficient, you know, SS4 charges the energy. I felt that you could just, if you sequenced well with that deck, it was really hard to lose. And that's probably one of the reasons why it needed to go. It was very user-friendly and very powerful, like, right away. You could be a mediocre player, pick up the deck, and like raffle stomp decks just based on your inherent like deck's playability alone. Like, it didn't take a lot of skill. But that didn't mean there's not a skill gap. Like, every easy deck like that has an insane skill gap. And the easier the deck is to play, the more nuanced those micro plays are always going to be. But yeah, I'm sad to see it go, because SS4 and SS4 Gogeta particularly is like my favorite and like character ever. And like, now I'm like really sad because he's gone. So hopefully they'll reboot him at some point. And maybe Errata, Triumph Together. Like, Triumph Together needed to be banned. It just needed to be played with that leader only, and then they could have just rebooted the leader. They could have just errated it, which is something they might do, so that you can't play it outside of the leader, right? It can't get abused by that Shenron. And I think, you know, that's something that would have been fine. And then, and like, listen, if SS4 Gogeta in the future wants to use that SCR to cheat it out an extra turn early, at least it's in its deck. Like, right, it's not being accessed by everybody. And trust me when I say that Shenron card, the best card wasn't Triumphant Together, play off that. And you're all going to find out real quick. I'm sure someone's going to find it and break it. But, yeah, moving on. Just think that it's a bummer for me, but it is what it is. I semi saw this coming. I even warned a friend who just picked up his Vegito SCR not to pick up the deck. So, and to not buy that SCR, and he did. At least he got like most of the deck like relatively cheap or free. And before the SCR, so and I don't even think he really paid for that. I think he just traded a bunch of stuff that he wasn't using anymore from a different game. Moving on. So you got Gamma, Sin covered, Triumph Together, S4 covered, Dirty Burst. Dirty Burst is 1,000% a card that needed to be banned. Anyone who disagreed with Dirty Burst being banned and like agrees with red being hit you're biased and dumb. uh, but I think that everybody in the community, well, all around, received Dirty Burst as a pretty good hit. But anybody who thinks that it didn't need to be hit is like you're seriously like on the next level. Like, it's not okay, bro. That card needed to be banned. And the main reason why that card needed to go, and they kind of explained it, but it was one of the reasons why like I was advocating for that card to be banned like at like Nats, like because the problem is that blue, number one, red's most punish, like the way to punish blue is by playing red, is to aggro them down. And one of the ways to punish them having all that energy open is by Brawly Crown. Well, Dirty Burst, like in Gamma, for example, was just like a free out to Brawly Crown while simultaneously telling the entire top end of the deck that you're not playing. The other problem is that that card basically gives blue a completely unfair advantage against top ends of every single card that they will ever make in the future. I wouldn't say that it limits card design, like everybody wants to say, because that's what they say when they talk about cards that like affect other cards that they'd make in the future. But that card would be a card that certainly is something to think about when you want to make a powerful boss strategy. Blue, while having already the best defenses of any color, because it has Bean, UI Kamehameha, which is a ban-worthy card. I don't care what anybody says. It should be banned. Like, there should not be a free 15k combo. Like, it's just downright ridiculous. Between that, Bean, Beerus Destroys, its super combos, and its ability to, like, play pseudo-super combos because of Bean and these other untap effects that are just inherent with D-Magic, right? You know, you have the energy to basically always have this top end removed from the game at 7 or higher. And that's really not okay because, like, 8 cost cards mostly are SCRs. Higher cost cards than that, like food, but that's banned. But, like, Shattered Mystery, that's the card I'm talking about. But, like, these higher cost cards, they're not going to get to play either. So it's like blue just constantly has this while having all of these other defensive tools that are really, really strong that also play into it. And so it's just one of those things that it was a card that certainly did need to be banned. And I just don't in any way think that it should have ever existed. I think the moment we took the moment it became relevant against like even the top end against red, right? Like, it's not okay that like you would invest for your play, like in Gogeta, like even though Triumph Together is a broken card, right? But like this is just to tell you how broken it is. So you -1 out of your hand and tap 4 energy for Gogeta, and the blue player broke even and stopped your whole turn. Like, it's terrible, and it's not an interaction that's okay. And even if that, like, the counterplay effect wasn't like it wasn't just that, right? It was also like a 1-for-1 negate, like a 1 energy negate. So it had utility, it flexed, it replaced itself if it counterplayed, and it stopped the top end of decks. Card was way too powerful. Needed to go. Like, I mean, there's still cards in the game that are that powerful that need to go. But yeah, like, yeah, Swift Retaliation, Cooler, dodging the list again. I'm going to take a small bit of this segment to talk about things I would have wanted. I already touched on like the Gohan card in red, a little bit of what I wanted to do. I guess I should touch on the Zeno errata. That was the worst errata of all time, just ban the card. I have no idea, like, I'm going to take 10-15 seconds for this, but there's 0 point in ratting a card to make its utility too hard to use and or not ever practical, which is kind of saying the same thing, but like the not really practical part would be like Violent Rays, right? They just did it again. And erratas like that, ban the card and make a new one. I don't care that Goku Wax new structure deck got decimated by this card. It happens, right? Red's been terrorizing green for like the last 5 sets in a row. So like, let's stop acting like, right? Like, we can't have counters to things in the game. And you just took everybody's like winner TPs and the new TPs that they were excited for to have for their sides and threw them out the dang window straight into a trash can. Thank you for another useless errata to the game. So that's what I think of that. But moving on. So I want what I would have wanted to see that was not on this is Golden Frieza and Trunks Cheetah leaders both banned. How they dodged the list is beyond me. Everybody talked about how the old vanguard of like Zenkai Series 1 is still here, and yet we still have a set 1 leader in Golden Frieza winning tournaments still. And as cool as everybody thinks that is, it's really unhealthy for the game. That leader is not a fair or healthy leader at all. It draws 5 to 6 cards on its awaken turn. It untaps 3 energy, and it can play multiple SS2Z Fighter Gohans. Like, if they banned SS2Z Fighter, it might be different, but like, I don't want that unison banned because that set 1 leader exists. I want the leader gone. The other thing is that they're releasing more Frieza Army support, and every single time Frieza Army is printed in the text of any card, that leader is going to be able to use and abuse it better than any other leader. It does not matter what you make it for. It will never matter. Secondly, I don't want to hear about, like, we got set 18 leaders being broken, and here we are with this set 1 leader, literally thrashing the same leaders that you're complaining need to be banned. Okay? Like, it's just ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Same thing with Trunks Cheetah. A lot of people think that Trunks Cheetah is not good. I don't know what you're thinking about Trunks Cheetah not being good. Our format literally hasn't changed since Worlds. Everyone was like, well, that was when Crimson was good. Well, Crimson was better than every other deck in the meta, and Trunks Cheetah was a good counter to that deck. And Trunks Cheetah is also good against all these other decks. Like, and Trunks Cheetah is just now, like, along with, like Majin Vegeta, just really, really strong. So it's not that it's not a good deck. It's that people are bored playing the same old deck over and over again, and it's still around. It won Worlds. It should be banned. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. So I think Trunks Cheetah should have been banned. Golden Frieza should have been banned. Why Swift Retaliation Cooler is dodged the list again is beyond me, but hey, whatever. Nothing in green needs to be touched. They're probably going to have to look at the Fated Rival combo eventually, but nah, dude, let green have some good stuff for a while. Black, I wanted Mirror Creator Absorbed completely banned. I am tired of that card existing, and yet another card that yellow just abuses. They haven't errated Oolong either, so that whole Mirror Oolong thing is still a viable thing. And everyone's like, well, I really like that combo. Well, stop it. It's degenerate, okay? Like, 2 cards that attack for over 100,000 is not okay, and I don't care what you say. Like, it's like, you know, 2 cards that could have swung at SS4 Gogeta Z-Awaken leader and, like, actually done damage. It's not cool. So, there's that. But I really did want, like, Mirror Creator Absorbed banned. I really don't like it. Like at all, as a card, period. I think that it's just a skillless card, just a completely skillless card. Just, here's a card that's just way too powerful. You've tapped out, all of your resources spent. Like, here, eat this. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're yellow and have like yellow SCR and 3 other super combos. You're still like 60k behind plus whatever else I comboed. So, like, stupid card. Like, really dumb card. Moving on to blue, there is a whole host of cards in blue that they completely and utterly missed. Okay, so give them props for listening to the community on Gamma, and definitely give them props for Dirty Burst. But how that Expert Deck 21, that, like, bottom decks everybody's hand, was not touched at all is one of the most egregious misses ever. Okay, that deck is literally not okay to play against. It's not fun. It's not fair. It's not good to watch at all. It's so monotonously mind-numbing. Like, you are frustrated for the player while you're watching 2 to 3 cards go to the bottom of the deck. And the thing is that there is no counter to it in the game. And it is what it is, man. Like, how Bionic Blitz did not just immediately get banned is beyond me, or the leader just get banned, beyond me. I get that you may new support. Let it use super combos and recycle super combos that don't rip your opponent's hand. If there was a way to counter that, and no, Jaren is not a good counterplay, but if there was a way to counter that, I think that it would be more fair, but there isn't. So, like, Bionic Blitz should have probably been banned. And how they missed that is just beyond me. But here we are. Yeah. Terrible. Absolutely, unequivocally terrible. I'm also surprised that they did not touch at all the Android 17 Defending Friends. I think that card's a ban-worthy card, but it dodges lists, so it is what it is. Moving on to red, because I'm not done putting that color on the chopping block. Bulma, okay? Bunny Girl should be banned. It just should go. Like, Bulma Bunny Girl needs to be banned. The Videl that recycles the super combos and whatnot needs to be banned. That deck should not be allowed to live either. Yet another reason why Triumph Together was a really good card for the format, because it kept those god-awful stall decks that are completely uninteractive and you can never get around their board, because once you get around their board, they just replace it with other cards and more defenses. Like, you get punished for getting rid of, you get punished for playing the game, and then you just die to dumb effects. Like, it's so boring, terrible, it's bad for the game, and I think that, like, again, a leader or other cards that are too old and need to go, why do we still have these cards in the game? Like, it's like, and this is the one thing that I wanted to kind of touch on. Okay, like, yellow has been winning basically at the same rate as red this entire format, despite the fact that it has less tops. And more recently, it's topped as much, okay? So, like, when we ban all the red decks, the only thing we do is just, like, hand the format to yellow. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's not going to be yellow format. Like, you don't know that, right? Like, we have to see it first. But, I mean, all the data points to, like, the best decks in the game are the decks that we're winning alongside the best decks that we just banned. So it's completely logical, because it follows suit that if there were any other decks of any other color that would have usurped the other two, right? Like, the other two colors, they would have done so. And the idea that, like, and here's the other thing, if you were going to say, oh, well, now that red's gone, like, maybe something else can come up that is good against yellow, but it couldn't because it was just too bad against red, that would probably be something in green, and green is nowhere near Majin Vegeta. Like, it is nowhere near Trunks Vegeta. It is nowhere near Golden Frieza. It's nowhere near Childhood Goku. It's nowhere near any of them. So, I don't know where anyone gets that idea, because if that was the case, we'd have, like, more of a triangle meta representation where you'd see red, yellow, and whatever color that is, and we'd see it. And we're not. And we're not going to, because, like, yellow draws too many cards while playing really dumb cards with way too many floodgates and, like, everything else in between. And or it's just going to kill you with unisons. And green's still going to be bad. Okay, like, even the mediocre red decks that we're going to have for this format will still stomp green. Okay, U7 still checks green way too hard. Frieza minuses, Goku minuses, the Videl counterplay minuses, and they'll play the 3-drop unison. Yamcha still minuses. They still have the Gohan TP that, like, minus 20Ks, right? Like, that's still a thing. Goku, SR, SPR, minus 30,000s the entire board. How's green going to do anything? I'm just lost. Like, Vegeta minus is 2 cards ignoring barrier. Like, I just don't, it's like, yeah, like, your whole board's still going to get minus, and I don't see a way that you're really going to stop it. And as for yellow, like it can inherently play Koitsukai and remove those cards from the game. Oh, also it searches its SCR that gets milled, right? So yeah, Dark probably might have to like make an appearance again. No, it's probably not going to make an appearance again, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the future. Like maybe like the new SS2 Gohan can like really shake up the meta for green, but I just really don't see how like green does well outside of like Cell now, and even Cell struggles against U7 because of all the minusing that occurs, and like all of its cards like just die. Like I don't really get it, and yeah, yeah. So maybe we'll find something. I don't know. And I think the other thing that's gonna sting for like red is like the blue matchup is just like insufferably worse now. Like playing against blue as like a red player is just gonna be really bad. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you in this video. I got a couple decks, Childhood Goku and Xenotrunks coming, and I do want to work on a U7 deck, and I want to also work on Dark Brawly and Launch. I want to work on those because I just got my Pure Hearteds and I'm super excited for those. Got the one where she's like laying down in the field like this. I'm like, it's like my favorite art of Launch ever, and I'm like so happy that I got it. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. This is Marcus from TCG Discussions signing off. Laters.